we come to talk hard.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
But for me, it was Tuesday.
Ho! Testicle Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. It's Talk Hard Tuesday.
Well, they can get a whole lot worse. So we're not going to fight anymore. We're going to pull together and we're going to find a way to get out of here. First, we're going to deal
That works.
Yes, and on a scale of 1 to 10, here's your score so far.
Do 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 do.
I was thinking about that exact same bit.
Caution everyone to watch out for pies.
At this point, anything is possible, so yes, pies,
We need no longer
seltzer
fear
bottles,
the
balloon
banana.
animals, be alert.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you.
Great intro. We're gonna need a bigger boat. 28 kids went into the water. Only 4 came back out, Chief.
They never saw the shark movie coming.
It's always sharks. Why does it have to be sharks?
Need a bigger boat.
Bigger shark.
There's a great big shark, Sala. It's a great big shark in your plane. Oh, that's just my pet Jaws.
That's Jaws. Where's the rest of them?
I hate sharks. I hate them. Movies. Shark movies. I hate them.
I wonder if we could put that in.
I bet we could.
I think we could figure that out, maybe. So good. All right, folks. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Things are going good for you, and it's been a good week. And Tuesday's here, so let's do the most important thing: talk hard, hang out, have a good time, take a breather from everything else going on. And yeah, Holy Testicle Tuesdays. It's here, my friends. What's going on? Loki, my brother, what is going on, brother? How you been?
What's up? I'm doing good. Got some good news from the doctor today. I had to do doctor's BS today, but they took me off of like half the medication they had me on because Loki's coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm the cream of the crop.
That's it. That's it. Getting ready, get tuned up for summertime. Get you mobile out there doing Loki stuff, man. That's good. That's good. Ironcaster, always showing you some shark love, man. Trying my best, and here we are, man. Let's do it. How you holding up, man? What's going on?
Well, I was going over the numbers, and according to my calculations, it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, and it's time to talk hard, and we are here to do it. So this is a fun one for me. I personally was, sometimes it's a movie that doesn't have to be great. And Loki, we talk about this privately a lot. There's a sweet spot of rewatchable movies that bring you joy from the first time you see them in a theater, that even if you're willing to admit that it's a Midland or slightly better than Midland movie, you watch regularly because you just have a joy button option. You have a joygasm kind of thing. Like, it just makes you happy. And this is one of those movies for me, man. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I think I was just in on it from the get-go and watched it every year since. So hopefully share it with everybody. First time watch for both of you, right?
Yeah, I hadn't seen this. I had not seen this until Pops brought it up. I know it's been out there, but it was never on my, oh my God, I've got to see this list. Nobody ever said, oh, you have to watch The Accountant. None of that. So either people assumed I'd already seen it or had no idea I hadn't seen it or just didn't care about it themselves enough to be like, you need to see this movie. So getting to see this, it was good. It's good. I liked it. I had a good time.
Yeah, it's a fun time, right? It's got a sequel coming out this weekend. I thought there's no better excuse than that. Try to ride the algorithm wave for what people who might actually be interested in watching The Accountant. And I would recommend it. It's like just a fun time. You don't have to have something super complicated to enjoy, some good stuff. So Ironcaster, you first time watch for you, my friend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In fact, up until you had put this on the calendar, I had never even heard of this movie. This completely slipped under my radar as far as films goes. And Yeah, the thing is, it's a movie that I think was it's worth throwing on because not everything can ultimately be a genre film. Not everything's going to be sci-fi, fantasy, sharks. Uh,
It's always sharks with this
It's always
guy.
sharks
It's
with
never
this
not
guy.
sharks.
Sharks do have its own playlist on my channel, just so we're completely clear. So because I can't totally be, I could like there is a sci-fi hit playlist, there is and there is a shark playlist, but all right, there's that too. So
Here, Ironcaster talking about movies. I saw this movie Loki, and it was really good, and I enjoyed it. Ironcaster talking about a shark movie. I saw a shark movie today, and it was so good. It was the best shark movie you've ever seen. The eyes, you can tell. It's always the eyes.
Helter Skelter. It's Helter Skelter, man. He gets Helter Skelter in his eyes. They all they get a little twitchy, get a little moving back and forth. You're like, wait a minute. Sometimes he'll start stroking the beard a little too much. You're like, wait a minute. Is it on Tubi, Ironcaster? And he gets all, oh boy. Now you might be in for it, folks. So
it might be.
Might be. No, The Accountant's fun. It was a screener from back in the day for me, 2016. I loved it. Thought it was really highly fun time. Made a decent amount of money. This is that perfect film for me. Like again, people have said many times, what if you were a studio? What would you be making? How would you be making money? This is the perfect film I'd be making. It's a Midland budget. It was like 30 to 40 something $1 million. It wasn't a ton of cash, so it's a manageable money. You don't have to make $500 million to break even. You can just triple your money, do all right, sell some sort of stuff on the back end with physical media because I'm a proponent that needs to come back in some way, shape, or form. And I hope this sequel does well in that same regard. So we'll see. Well, let's say hello to this wonderful, beautiful chat. And always, here he is. He's opening the door for everyone. He's kicking it in, saying hello, humans and other critters. It is Snorty, you lovable bear. How are you, my friend? How are you? Penny's out there. She's headed to a missions trip, a missions event type thing. So she'll be doing that. Penny, I hope you be careful, be safe, and we'll see you soon. Talk to you. Claude is here. Great to see Claude, as always, hanging out here, being a supporter and a fan. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Let me see here. Lots of folks saying back and forth. And yes, the mouse is on vacation. I teased about showing the photo, but I would never do that without her permission. But yeah, we joked. So I'm not saying it was about sharks, but it was sharks. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of shark talk on the old Talk Hard, but it's okay. It's all right. We do shark hard from time to time for sure. We do. So, but yeah, Accountant. It is kind of a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek sort of approach to having a Hitman movie. So it's funny how it's billed as this, all the photos look exactly like that poster you can see on the right with him with some sort of rifle or different, you don't see him as the nerd you see in the picture. So in the first portion of the movie where you're getting kind of this setup for, he's going to basically just come in and audit this massive company. It's like, wait, what is going on? Why are we doing all of this? I will say the one thing for me was, I don't know about you guys, I thought the way they shot it and the way they kind of had Affleck deliver a very subdued performance. Like he's just very quiet with everything. It was a very interesting performance out of him. I mean, I don't totally hate on Affleck as much as other people do, but this one I thought brought a little bit different, different approach to things than normally is. What did you guys think?
Well, the thing I feel is most standing out with this film is his portrayal of this man with this disability. He's got this form of autism that he's having to work through and act, and for a lot of ways, this does feel fairly true to form. I've had some interactions with people on the spectrum to various degrees, and there's a lot of things he does that feels familiar to what I've seen myself. That's the part I really took away from this film. Ultimately, it's the action stuff is fun, but this is where it really shines.
And
Yeah,
there's some like, okay, so if you've ever been around someone who is autistic, sometimes you've got, like Pop said, varying levels of degrees of autism. There are people that have signs of autism that are not autistic. The puzzle thing. Arius is like, I mean, Arius can sit there and put a puzzle together like that with it turned upside down, just going off the way the board looks. She does not like loud music, but it's not anywhere near what we're looking at here. She doesn't cover up her ears. She doesn't have problems with like light, but the super loud music and the puzzle thing. So there's things you'll see where people have this just gift to do things that absolutely amazes you. And sometimes that means that certain other doors that like how he comprehends social things that are social. He's basically got the guy in prison telling him, no, that's not how he'll react when someone tells you this or that or the
Yeah.
other. This is what, oh, well, I feel bad for you then. And those social cues that they don't understand that they kind of have to almost fake to appear normal. You just kind of got to know, you have to be conditioned to understand how certain people are going to react to certain things and not do something that completely brings you out in the light of who you are, which is what he does. And he does that very well. Ben Affleck absolutely nailed this. And the younger version of him in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. You'd almost think that this is what I'm looking at. So both of them did a great job with the role.
Yeah, I think that, the autism, Asperger's portrayal, and at least the conversation about it was very moving. I know for me, I've always joked, I said I was like, I had the letters and maybe on the spectrum before they had a spectrum and had letters. Like they just, you're just a wild kid. You were out of control, or you were schoolwork was too easy. So I'd go to sleep. So I'd perform really bad. I was in a lot of dummy classes until middle school before that kind of was forced and kind of kicked. But I went to sleep during the gifted testing. I went to sleep during my first SAT, things like that. I just was not my thing. I just couldn't do it. And it reminds me a lot of what he's doing in this film, and then how we have this great portrayal by Anna Kendrick as sort of like a person who's more normie, but kind of like maybe a lot more like what you're saying with Eris. Like she's got a lot of quirkiness and weird things going on with her, and she kind of sees him like, wait, okay, he's like a quiet genius. There's something special, even though he's got these personality quirks and difficulties relating to people. So I think this is a great sort of commentary, like you said, on a lot of these different attributes. And then of course, like you said, Ironcaster, the action stuff comes as the backdrop before it moves to the forefront of why would he even be trained like this? And it's like, well, this is the dad's way of dealing with it. Like as a military dad, he does not want to deal with it. He doesn't even want to acknowledge that my son is like this. And he ends up training them up as like these hardcore, these two siblings, these brothers are trained up as like, end all be all assassins and fighters and just everything. It's just completely wild to have that approach. I don't know. Everything about that minutia, I think, was interesting to me. So, Penny says she's listening at church. What would be interesting church fodder talking about the accountant. And Penny, let me know if you've seen this. What you guys think? You guys in chat, let me know you've seen this, because a lot of people, like you said, look at it. I don't think a lot of people have watched this movie, and then like Ironcaster, like you said, I don't think some people haven't even heard of this movie. So I don't expect the sequel to necessarily do great, other than the fact that I'm not sure there's a lot of stuff to see right now. So I hear good things about a couple of movies, but it's a difficult time right now. The people aren't running to the theaters, are they, guys? So, yeah. This was so as this goes, again, he's there to do it. It's audit, and that's what's happening. And then we do get a little bit of the backstory. Loki, you were talking about this, where you get his great performance by his mentor, and the person that takes him under his belt and says, "No, listen, man, I see you. Whatever. Let me teach you how to be an accountant for the uber corrupt, the uber criminals of the world. So how do they launder their money?" And he basically he has Affleck's character. We're just going to call him Chris, memorizing. He already knows their addresses. He knows their he knows everything about them while he's in prison with this guy. They're locked up briefly. And it's just a really interesting, again, Jeffrey Tambor, I think, does a great job. And then, of course, we find out, again, more layers to the stories and things. I don't know how much. This is one of those, I don't know that I want to spoil some of these little minutiae. I don't know what you think, Ironcaster.
I think there's an interesting way it all kind of ties together that I will say for myself, while it works with the way they kind of bring in the J.K. Simmons character, and they bring in all, and the big action sequence that sort of brings all these things together as sort of this background. I'm not so sure if I think it was like the best way or the way I would have necessarily done it. Because a lot of it is just sort of we're getting little snippets and seeing kind of little hints of what had been. But
Yeah, I think that is it almost too smart for its own good? Like I'm not sure on first watch people get like the Solomon Grundy songs happening, the thermos matters, how does J.K. Simmons' character fit in with Jeffrey Tambor's character? Like why is this girl even remotely relevant as the person that we're going to use as a she's almost like a MacGuffin to move us through the story because we don't really need her, but we have her because it sets up the fact that there'll be continuity from the beginning of the film to the next film kind of thing.
well, I mean, we have this whole sequence set up where J.K. Simmons is asking her to come in and look into this story to figure out, who Ben Affleck is, like what's up with his character, only to kind of have that reveal that he knows more about it than he's let on. It's like, in a ways, it feels like it was kind of coming out of left field that they had this other plan in mind that they just sort of forgot to take care of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. It was really like I think it was also to like it passes the baton again. It's like it's pieces of things that you kind of have to pick up. I think Loki as you watch it from one time to the next. It's like because you realize that this guy J.K. Simmons' character has had this illustrious career, but why has he had this illustrious career, and how does that tie to the accountant? And it kind of has to kind of snake and weave and bob around for it to kind of come to an end at the end of the film. And I don't think a lot of audience members like the complicated, if you know what I mean. You know what
I
I mean?
know what you mean. I know what you
Yeah.
mean. And you know what? It's people like us that absolutely love the complicated and want to see
Mhm.
how far the rabbit hole goes and want to take that trip down the rabbit hole to see what's at the bottom of it. We love shit like that. It's when we get subverted and they're like, oh, well, we subverted your expectations about going down the rabbit hole that we get pissed off and we're like, you just
Yeah.
dumbed it down for no reason and made this whole trip pointless to go, ha ha, fooled you. And that's absolute crap. That's garbage. Why would you do that? Because they think it's funny, or they think that the audience won't get it, or they need to dumb it down, as Pop said.
Yeah. It is it reminds me of a story that I don't think I've ever talked about on the channel. We went and saw Castaway again, or screener or something like that. Or if it wasn't a screener, it was opening night because my wife was with me. But we watched the movie. If you've never seen Castaway, it ends in a very open-ended way. Though, the idea of him having to deliver this unopened package that he's abandoned on this island with, and how he can survive there for years, and then of course when he does finally return to the real world, he has this package, and it kind of ends where he's in like this decision. You don't see what he does. You just don't
I
see what happens.
I want to meet the damn woman that this package was
I
supposed to be
know.
going to.
I
I
know.
want him to have that interaction and be like, and her
Right.
go,
But
what, how the hell did you get this?
I
I
know.
got it
I know.
because I was on an island, and this is the only thing that I was able to save, and I tried saving as many packages as I could, and it's what made it back. Thank you so much. You wanted that, and they didn't give it to you because they're dicks.
Yeah, and people stood up in the theater and they were mad. They didn't know what happened. They didn't, there was like, it was all this weird pushback back and forth. And I remember at the time, and we kind of drove home and we were talking about it. And I said, I'm kind of mixed because I feel like Loki, like I want something, but I don't know what I want. And I don't trust that what they could give me would give me the reward that I want. Like, I feel like if he talks too much, it lessens his journey. Then I feel like if she doesn't react a certain way, it wouldn't give the payoff. I mean, so I feel like the fact that they don't do anything. So my whole point of that analogy in the story is the complexity is more fun for me because I think it lends itself to conversations like this. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like that this conversation they have in prison, where he's basically the mentor, like you said, that he's learning how to be more human and deal with actual normies, and he's trying to figure out how to um, become the replacement, if you will, for this character in the criminal underground, right? How he's going to be their new money launderer and that kind of thing. you could flash back to this again in the second movie, and you're not going to learn anything. We could just unpack a few more layers. I just don't want it changed. I don't want anything changed. So I think that they do a great job of that, of giving us more, making us want more, and the complexity that kind of draws us in, like Loki said, where it kind of builds the world, it builds the universe, if you will. And I'm sorry about Ironcaster. I don't know if he had to step away for a second. Something happened, but yeah, it's one of these underrated scripts too, where it's just people will mostly talk about a lot of the action and things of that nature, and not about some of the complexity that kind of lends itself. And I will say too, I think it was kind of funny because Ironcaster brought it up in our group chat very early on. He watched the movie and he commented about she had to look up Lewis Carroll. I don't know if you noticed the scene, Loki, or not. She actually misspells Lewis Carroll's name when she looks him up. She looks him up as Lewis, Lewis instead of Lewis. So, all right, he's back. We'll get Ironcaster back up in here. Here we go.
Boom! There he is.
He's too big. We can't do that. Let's take that back out. Let's figure this out. Where'd he go? Let's see here. Oh, that's how we have to do it. Bear with us.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a family matter come up. But
that's all right.
Yeah, that was something I had to point out. Was like she had to Google Lewis Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, she spelled it wrong. Did you catch that when she did it?
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Yes, he's back. Yeah. But I think it's that kind of detail and minutia that you catch and kind of makes you go. And like I said, you go through the watch multiple times and you see this dynamic and you start to realize, like you said, Loki, what is his real motivator to even having this woman around? Like she's so irritating in some ways, and he has her kind of like by the euphemism of cojones, right? Because if she doesn't sort of comply with, because he could turn her out, it's like she committed fraud on her application. Some little details that, basically like I handpicked this person to do what I do because she's a little bit dirty. So we'll see what she wants to do dealing with this accountant guy or not. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of J.K. Simmons? He's always good, right?
Always good. Always good. He's great role in this. Everything he does, he's always good. And he doesn't have to be JJ. I'm sick and tired of the generic star that is just the same person in every movie we watch. We get it with Jason Statham. We get it with Jason Momoa. We get it with Vin Diesel. We get it with all of these actors that are always the exact same person, no matter what the role is. He's not, and I love that. The guy can act. He's got chops. He should be in more.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really great with his character, where we're going in with him being this like really confident guy that you think is you almost go in expecting him to be that character, but then we get some nuance as the movie goes on to show that he is this flawed human, that he isn't this top cop sort of character that you might have thought he was at the start.
Yeah, I think it's one of the beautiful twists and turns that they kind of throw at you. It is not what you expected at all, and he is very like he almost is at tears, and you feel almost like you can relate to the character more. Like I feel like, holy crap, dude! Like that's pretty good stuff. And it also isn't like a long preachy nonsense. We didn't have to go through these long smell your own fart type speeches and lectures. He just says, listen, man, this is what happened. This is how I feel, what I said. And, it's like, wow, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. At the same time, though, in contrast to that, so Bernthal does play a lot of Bernthal. Ironcaster, you're sharing. I'll add it one just a second, Ironcaster.
Yep. Here you
go. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come right back to that. Bernthal plays the same character pretty much, but I liken it a lot more to like De Niro, because I've been watching some gangster movies, and I have a review coming out soon. I dropped my review tomorrow, or it was today, on Casino, but I have Untouchables coming out in a week, and I'm like, I always loved this, but there is like De Niro-isms, the way he moves his mouth and his eyes and just so. But he did other roles that are not like that. But my point is a lot of Bernthal is Bernthal. I don't know. What do you think, Loki?
No, I agree. And he's got his own. I don't hate it or anything. Like dude, I love seeing Jason Momoa in movies. You know, I'm not a huge Statham fan. I liked Vin Diesel for a while. I think he's John's a great actor, and I love him. I loved him as the Punisher when it was back on Netflix. Anything on Disney Plus, but yeah, I mean, he did great. He's done a great job in anything I've seen him in. I think the first thing I saw him in was um, Walking Dead, and from there I'd catch him in thing after thing, every once in a while. But he's good.
It helps that he's not an overused actor. He hasn't hit that he hasn't had that sort of prestige where he's in virtually everything as far as films go.
Oh, you're talking about Brown Man.
Bernthal.
Yeah.
Oh, Pedro. Yeah. No.
Pedro.
No. In this case, I am talking about Bernthal. Like as solid as he is, he's not overused. He's in just enough films that you can enjoy him. And he's like,
I
this
agree.
is kind of his niche. He doesn't show up in too much. So it's great when he's able to do this stuff and be that character, but he's not this in everything.
Yeah, I want to see him now. Now that he's got enough money and enough popularity, his podcast is actually really good too, guys. If you've ever seen any of his podcast work, because he's just a regular bro, like him hanging out with David Ayer and stuff like that. It's just two dudes hanging out. So it's really good stuff. I would love to see him now venture into a role, kind of like the Affleck role. Let's see, can you pull off some more, stretch your range and do some different things? I think Loki's right, man. We have a long list of performers that are very one dimensional, that play the same character all the time, and I just don't really enjoy it very much either. I kind of just know what I'm getting. That's fine for turning my brain off. But Jason Statham movies are so cliche now. You're just like, oh, it's almost like Liam Neeson become this way. Like, there's just a lot of them, even though they had some other roles maybe on their resume, they really have kind of become very one-dimensional. I would give a lot more credit to another actor we don't talk a lot about here on Talk Hard. Maybe we should put some of his movies on this, because his resume doesn't seem like it is. But then when you start listing out some examples, Brad Pitt's got some resume items that are just really quite great performances. Like, he has had some films that really stretch the range and does some different things. Because I recently, I never thought he could pull off the action thing until I saw World War Z. I really always forget about how crazy his character is in like a movie like Snatch and 12 Monkeys. And it kind of just keeps going. Like, he kind of is this pretty boy stereotype, but he also has a lot of other roles that are not like that. So, we just see what some of these guys do as they, let's go to Ironcaster's thing. This was a fun moment for you, Ironcaster?
Yeah, I mean, getting to see the smiley faces that we've seen now increasingly popularized through a lot more medicine. There's a lot you could kind of imply out of this with in the initial like third of the film, where he's using them to kind of play off of his emotional state.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a pretty positive mood at the start, and then when he's later in the film, you see him where he's getting frustrated. You're not seeing those smiley faces around anymore. You're seeing them be put on display.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for context, folks, he doesn't really take outsiders into his accounting firm. It's kind of a front, but that's kind of like the whole backstory of what's actually going on with this guy. But he has these two farmers in who are basically going to be hit with all these tax burdens, and he's there trying to help them with these loopholes. And he says, well, I really don't do this, I don't do that, but I do shoot. So when he goes out to shoot, he puts these faces on these melons, and then he puts them a mile away. Isn't that what he's basically the guy said? Yeah. Loki, like it's so far away. He's like, I've never had a shot. And then of course he's just on point, nails them 1, 2, 3. And then of course it is later in the movie when he's I guess he's broken his Asperger's autism routine. He can't finish the job, so therefore he's tweaking. I don't know what the appropriate term is for. He's like twitching and not. He's out of whack. So those melons have like sad faces on them and stuff like that. You feel like he's going to miss every single shot. And of course the whole sequence is interrupted for the plot, and we kind of move the story a little bit more. So definitely.
And he's using a 50 caliber sniper rifle. Those bullets are like that freaking long. Okay. When you see the clip, you're like, that clip's as big as his hand. Yeah, it should be, because those are anti-aircraft cartridges that he's shooting. So it's huge, massive, and that's why he's like a mile out. There ain't no way, and yeah, there is. So, and that's all
Yeah.
math. If you think about it, when he's sitting there scribbling in his book, what he's got is
Yep.
he's got a shooter's book where he's like, okay, windage, time of day, light, because everything affects your shot, especially when you're shooting that far. They did a really good job with that scene.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely are leaning into a character who would be good at certain skills. And then how do we hyper exaggerate his ability in those skills? It's like what you were talking about earlier, Ironcaster. It's just like, you can believe this guy could be this super good at these things because we've met people on the spectrum. We know that we've had encounters. Okay, so this is an interesting version of that character. Interesting, cool. All right, fair
It's
enough.
all about numbers for him. Numbers are easy for him to figure out.
I will say also, movies like this don't get a lot of credit for. Oh, I hit the wrong. Hang on, hit the wrong freaking thing. All right, there we go. Let's go back. Let's do it this way. Movies like this don't get credit for their cinematography. So I love the attack on her sequences with the hallway scenes. Very narrow. It's very claustrophobic. It sets up a real challenge for how he can get in, get out, try to help her. He did bond with her in the earlier sequence, and he feels like he has to do something to try to save her. It doesn't, it's going against his code. I meant to ask you guys what movie it is or what show it is. What's the one where they talk about 2 minutes? Like you have to be able to pull your life away in 2 minutes. Like if you get found out, you get caught, whatever. There's a quick line in one of the shows or movies that we would love. And it was like you're 2 minutes from just leaving your life behind kind of thing. So, yeah. Someone loves little love here for the working man. Little Jason Statham love. I haven't watched it yet, just to be honest. I don't know. Definitely not a lot of stuff from 2025 to pick from. So yeah, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Working Man was good.
I definitely haven't seen it yet. So yeah, I love that. And then I would say I feel kind of mixed on Lithgow. Kind of wasted. A very generic sort of corporate role, not anything special to lean into Lithgow's skill set. Because the character is just always, I don't know, very passive. It's on its heels, so he doesn't really lean in anything interesting. I don't know. What do you think, Ironcaster?
I think the big issue with Jonathan Lithgow in this film is there's frankly not enough of him. That basically the 2, maybe 3 times we see him, we go from him being this kind of bright, optimistic sort of I want to help people be better. And then we cut to at the end of the movie. By the way, I was stealing from my own company. And I was trying to put it back because money.
I'm God. Yeah, I'm what? Don't you know what I am? Whatever. Yeah, I know. But he didn't even really pull off either of those two things particularly great. I mean, it's got some incredible roles on his resume and stuff too. But I felt like he was very underutilized, if you will. Now,
hold on. There is a scene at the beginning of the movie when he meets him for the first time, when he meets the accountant, where they're talking and they're standing in front of that window, and you see people getting prosthetic arms and stuff. And he's standing there and he looks at him and he's like, "What do you think he's thinking about?" And Ben Affleck's character, the Wolff, is like, "It's cold in here. Turn up the heat." And Lithgow's kind of almost like it's kind of funny. But he looks at him. He gives him this odd look, like,
"You're not right, are you?"
Yeah,
something's off with you.
There's something about this man that I am now interested in. That you almost say you can't fake that, even though you know he's faking that. That's chops. That little bit. There's his chops. That's why you're paying this guy to do this, is to make that believable and make you as the audience go, he saw something there, didn't he? He caught something about his character there. So,
I mean, there's actually that's a pretty good point, because if you think about it, Jonathan Lithgow's character is this man whose basically whole life has been dedicated to repairing broken things, broken people, and so from a certain standpoint, he can recognize it. He can look at him and see that there's something not quite right with Ben Affleck's character.
Right. Yeah, but he's also totally caught off guard by who Affleck's character is. Like, he's just an accountant, I think is one of the lines, right? He's just an accountant. I love that line because it's like, dude, he's clearly not just an accountant. And if you're still playing catch up to that, you are doomed. You really are way over your head. The nerdiness in this, you have to love the I Spy. If you've never seen the movie, I tell you what, this is the best part. So he lives in a house with just like one fork, one knife, one spoon. He eats the same thing. Then his sanctuary is like one of these stream. What do they call those?
Streamline.
Streamline. Yeah, it's just incredible. And when he's opening drawers, you see cash, whatever, but you do see the comic books. Ironcaster, you had to know that I was like in the theater and he opens that thing up. It's an Action Comics #1. And my wife, I think, grabbed my hand because I went, oh! I was like, you don't understand. To even like, I don't know, I'm assuming they just used a facsimile to even pull the scene off. But I know people will be more excited about the real life, works of art. And they're supposed to be like a Monet and the Pollock and stuff like that. But for me, it was like there's an Action Comic #1. So
it's everything. It's all of it. It's not, you're like it's not just the pictures. It's not just the comics. It's not just the gun collection. It's not. It's all of it that you're like, dude. He has got money everywhere, and it's money you wouldn't even think of. Oh well, he's got this beautiful work of art. He's got this comic book. He's got these guns that are worth millions of dollars. It's everything. He has invested everywhere in everything he can think of.
And he explains that. I mean, I was actually surprised. And I said, what was your take on that too? Where like, it seems kind of ridiculous. And then there is an explanation of, oh, well, sometimes, I get paid that way. Sometimes I just get paid that way. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, who would be paying with an original Monet? Oh, wait, the people that he's working for. Got it.
Well, I was sort of caught up on the comic book thing myself. And to me, I looked at it and thought, yeah, that's something Ben Affleck would have probably wanted this character to have had. This is probably this is that little Ben Affleck touch because, as it's pretty well known, Ben Affleck is a comic book guy. He's got his collections and stuff. So it tracks that would be the sort of thing they would have worked into this film, and again, that would have been just his little contribution to say like, no, this character, this is something he probably valued as a kid, that these characters, these stories, to be more than what he could have been. Because I mean, he's got Lewis Carroll lines written on the side of his RV. He's got he's using all these like mathematicians, all these people who were superhuman in the world of mathematics. So for him to have these superheroes as just this touch of his childhood, that tracks for me.
Yeah, I agree. And again, using the math and becoming an expert marksman and everything like that, and having these type of weapons just sort of cavalier. And she looks in, you see them briefly. I loved it. That was great. It's a great way of, it just builds the world. Because I got to be honest, we come away with this movie, and we do see this. We get what we want. We get the action, we get the Bernthal part. We get everything we want, but we also don't totally get all of his world. Well, there's so much more world to be told, and I think this is another beauty of this film, where we just get enough to have a little experience behind the curtain of seeing like one of his adventures or one of his instances where he's kind of let his guard down. He chose to save this girl. It's what he's going to do. He's going to break his code, and he's going to go out there and do this thing, and it's fantastic. But yeah, this shot, man, this scene, oh, he's so good. That's so good. Yeah, good stuff. Very good.
I even love the little details, the little things in the background, the barn that's falling apart. This feels lived in. This looks like the barn that's about a mile up the road from me that's been falling apart for the last better part of 10 years.
What's the best way to make it work? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm looking at that picture and I'm thinking RoboCop. The Cobra assault cannon, state of the art. Bang, bang.
Yeah. It is, it just everything about it. It just feels like for whatever reason, they hit the right notes to give us the type of immersion in the world that we would want to believe this type of assassin story without, getting too crazy. So like when we cut to the dad and he's reading the Jakarta and he's there training with these martial art experts, slinging them around. It's like, oh, they're not done yet. They don't know what true pain is. Just keep throwing them around a little bit more. That's not enough. Keep going. I know when they're done. You don't get to say when they're done. Oh man, it's hardcore dad, man. It's hardcore dad stuff. And then we have payoff for it later. We see what happens when they're actually put in harm's way, and you see them and what his instructions would be. And I just think it all. I don't know. It feels really good. Look at the good shot too, Ironcaster. You had to love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Wasn't
got
generic.
It's solid cinematography from just the setups. There's great balance. It feels like a little touch of a Karate Kid there. Something to
That's true.
appreciate
Yeah.
there as well. But that's what makes this such a fascinating story, because this is a kid who's been raised by his father, and his father's like, no, I have to be tough on you because the world's gonna be tough on you. We cannot tolerate the weakness. We have to push through this. We have to force you to go past this because the world isn't going to cut you any slack.
Yeah, very true. And I thought the message was good. I mean, we don't have that kind of message in films, so yeah, I was down for that for sure. I wanted to go back to the nerd shot.
Well, that and also the fact that that he was raised by a single father is another one of those things you just don't get a ton of.
Yep. So there was a shot I didn't mention. There's a lightsaber with the autograph from George Lucas.
Yep.
And the four baseball cards that are in that drawer when they open it up, it's the famous Honus Wagner card. There's a Cracker Jack, Christy Mathewson, and then there's an American Caramel Babe Ruth holding the carrier pigeon, and then there's the Orion Holblitzel, which are some of the four most famous, expensive, and they're like graded cards. So they're going out of their way to go, this guy has got his money sort of like laundered through nearly anything and everything, which would be the best way to navigate that type of money. So, and even this gun, look at this one. I was like in love with this gun. Like, oh my God, I want this gun.
SOCOM.
Yeah.
I do believe that is a SOCOM 45.
Yeah, there's really much kick with that baby there too. That's just a nice, sweet 45 right there. Yeah,
Nothing like a smooth Colt 45.
Yeah, but not that kind of Colt 45 for sure. So, yeah, that 45 will kick you, not this one. So, for sure. But yeah, no, I had a good time with this film. I enjoy the rewatch. Again, it was. It's the little things that I've seen. So I had a daughter who was like a nail, because obviously we ended up discovering that she's. So I think there's a difference between like being on the spectrum like this, where they had to be trained to be functional and good at something. There's people who are just like, we're pretty functional. It's where Eris is, right? We're pretty functional. We're just kind of normal folks with a lot of quirks. We have a lot of issues. And you see it come through when he has scenes like this where he's blowing on his fingers or he's tapping his fingers. He's twitchy, he's whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that.
He's got his routine. He's got to go through.
Mm-hmm. I see it come up a lot, and that's the whole I have to finish thing. It's really good. It's really interesting. But they do good things, make it interesting for us. Look, they give us these cool shots, like just markers and accounting notepads, like just. Frickety frack is so good. We can't get shows on, they spend millions of billions of dollars on or whatever. We can't get shots. Stupid movie like this shows us like attention to detail to have this cool shot about markers. And I was like,
it's because you've got a good guy either directing, or you've got a great cinematographer, somebody that actually knows what they're doing, instead of, oh my God, I'm the bestest thing ever because I'm in the newest Disney Plus series. You got to hire someone that knows what they're doing, that has a background in knowing what they're doing, instead of this whole, we're going to give everybody an opportunity to do it. Okay.
The biggest compliment I can give is like they actually got me invested in this accounting story, where I'm like, I want to see him doing the numbers, doing the math. I want to see him solve this at the end of the day. I want to see him like toss those markers.
Yeah, there's a gap between him doing it and then like it's done. And he's explaining it. I'm like, I wanted more. I wanted more because I still can't figure. I still don't understand it. Even when he's trying to dumb it down for the girl, I'm like, I'm still not following. And I need more information. I'm too stupid. I'm not smart enough. It's so good that you said that, Loki, because I wanted to look up who the cinematographer is. Seamus McGarvey is a famous cinematographer. He's done like a couple Oscar films, like Atonement and stuff. So they went out of their way to get a like hardcore good cinematographer. They just not somebody who doesn't have a ton of credits and things like that. This guy has all sorts of crazy things on his resume. So a very interesting guy. Not everything's great. I mean, gonna be honest. I mean, he's he did some work. I mean, on the Avengers, but he also did 2014 Godzilla and The Greatest Showman. So there's some stuff in there. It's all over the map, which I think I respect more. I respect people who are willing to stretch their legs a little bit, try some different things, and we get, if nothing else, we get shots like that for sure. So let me see what else we can kind of dive into a little bit more about some of the stuff from these promo photos and stuff. Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about. Well, I don't want to spoil that part. Never mind. Yeah,
I would say probably one of the weakest elements of it was sort of the reveal at the end, where the way we bring Jon Bernthal's character back into sort of connecting back into Matt Damon's character.
Okay, well, hold on. You didn't. Okay, major spoiler for if you hadn't seen it. Okay, then it's Ben Affleck, not Matt Damon, which is funny because they obviously tease each other about that. And since we since we broke the momentum, let me go ahead and just keep the momentum broken. Scott gave 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, brother. You've been supporting me for so long. I appreciate you, man. Those went to Jill, Lord Tatman, Tomby, Mr. Dadman, and Shield Dragon. So thank you so much, brother. I can't. Yeah, you're amazing. You're amazing. All right. So Ben Affleck's character, bring in Jon Bernthal's character. You didn't like that part. Go ahead.
Well, at first it was a bit clever the way they kind of brought it in for me. I'm like, where I'm kind of watching it, I'm starting to see the pieces kind of falling in place. I'm sitting up in my chair like, wait a minute, are we about to get a reveal of the brother?
Mm-hmm.
And then about a minute or two later, we ultimately get that. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where they were going, because naturally we've been so tied onto Ben Affleck's character in this movie, Christian, that you almost kind of forget that he had a brother. Once you kind of the mom walked out on him, he was raised by his dad, but he also had his brother there, and that was one of those things he was taught, and just kind of like you sort of like forget about the brother altogether, but he had basically the exact same like training, and I could see where he could have gone into this sort of world with that, but it just it feels like it's, in a way, it's almost out of left field, where it's like, oh, right, he was also a character.
Okay. I will respect your opinion, but I loved it because it was. So the reason they sell me on it, and we'll go to Loki, let him have he can chime in, is because Bernthal's character is like, dude, I haven't seen you for 10 freaking years. Like, it's not like I went looking for you. He's like, I knew where you were. And it's like everything he would say, Affleck's character, Christian would always have this. They were both perfectly in character. So it didn't feel forced from the character's point of view. It's like Bernthal, if he's watching the screens and he kept squinting his eyes, looking like, is that my brother? Is that I recognize this technique? I recognize this move. I recognize that. He's like, I can't believe it's actually him. And then of course, Chris is like, yeah, I knew who you were the whole time. I knew what you were. It's like, so they sold it to make it work for me. And then even then, you're not happy to see me. You're not happy to see me. He's like, hi, I guess. Like he, what I mean? It's like they all stayed in character enough to make it work for me. I guess that's why I liked it. Yeah.
That part worked for me, but I feel like I could have stood to have had a little bit more of a, I don't know, just another scene or something with the two brothers together when they were younger. Like,
no, they'll tip their hand too much. Yeah.
Like just like one more scene or just one more extra little piece, I feel like would have kind of better made me remember that the brother was a character and not just a wallflower.
I have to be honest, because I watch movies with subtitles on. There's a quick shot of subtitles, and you can have it spoiled for you very early in the movie. It's sad. It's frustrating because they make a comment. They don't reveal it in the actual film itself. The subtitles do. So I don't know. What do you think, Loki? You think that the film kind of just juggles and handles all the balls pretty well, or you think that we could have done a tweak it here, tweak there? It's good kind of either way. I don't know.
Leave it the way they wanted it. This is the way they wanted it. We see stuff like this all the time. We see Disney do things where they're like, oh, we're going to go back and we're going to change 20 million things before the movie comes out, balloon the budget, do this, do that. But people just make the movie they want to make. This is them making the movie they want to make. This is what they released. Let them do that. Studio interference sucks. If the reason why you didn't get a good idea out is because studio interference, come out with the director's cut that you wanted. If not, let this film speak for itself. And this one does. It's good.
Yeah. Bill Dubuque.
Like a light bulb going off above my head.
Bill Dubuque, who does the screenplay for this, he did some other movies. I actually need to watch A Family Man. I don't think I've ever seen Family Man or The Judge with Robert Downey Jr., but he's the guy that's behind Ozark, which people love Ozark, of course. He's a good writer, and I think that it's little things, it's little nuances. Again, big spoiler again, but the way it ends, where you have the big reveal of it going full circle to the special school that's in the opening scene where he's doing the puzzle upside down. There's a quick line in the movie with the federal agent talking about where some of the money's moving around. And so I liked all that. And again, there's also the reference, and, I love it when, Loki may even recognize the brand, but they talk about the supercomputer that she's on or whatever. Like, look at that computer. She could hack into the freaking Pentagon. I'm like, I don't freaking know. I wouldn't even know. But I could see the nerds in the audience like me going, I'm excited about Action Comics. Someone else is... Yeah.
It's a Tandy, Pops. It's a Tandy. Remember Tandy?
Tandy. It's a Commodore 64. No, it was something Wex 32 or whatever they say. And I'm like, what are they talking about? But hey, cool, sure.
Dot matrix printer.
No, it was not. She is something special. It's kind of fun. It was an interesting way to... What's your guys' take on this? This is another angle that I have on this movie too. It's a way to get dudes in the room to have conversations about Asperger's and autism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we can go, okay, gentlemen, I know everybody here wants to watch Rambo, but today we're going to talk about Asperger's and autism. Instead, how about we figure out a way to have this cool action movie and some good performances and just a decent time. And at the same time, everybody can level up a little bit on their sympathies and understanding of those people that have those two hurdles to overcome in their life. So, yeah, that was my thought of it.
Back when I was in college and I was in the middle of my first marriage, we knew a couple that had a son that was very autistic. I mean, constantly like hands on his ears, the scream, everything you see, but amplify that even more. One of the only times he would sit and be still and be calm is if he had an iPad in his hand and he was doing something. One night he got uber pissed and they didn't know how to deal with him. I sat down on his level and I had an iPad. He had his iPad that wasn't working. And I was like, what's his favorite game? I pull up this game. I get on there and I'm doing it in front of him. And he stops messing with his iPad and starts looking what I'm doing. And I didn't talk to him. I just sit there and played. And eventually he took it and he started playing and he was chilling. And I said, guys, just for a minute, get down on his level and think about what he's thinking about. Well, he's so frustrated because he can't get in his game because his iPad isn't working right. If you have another iPad that has that game on it, and you just sit there and you don't like, here, take this one. Don't make him take it because he's going to get pissed because he's going to be like, this is mine. But you do something that he does and you try and do it his way. And if it catches his attention on his own, it's like, I can't help myself. I have to take this one and do it just like that one. But if you try and introduce that to him in a way that he's like, then it's not going to work. And that was That all comes from an understanding of getting down on a person's level and trying to
Mm-hmm.
see things through their eyes. That's exactly what at the beginning of the movie, that guy that comes to their house that's like, we deal with this all the time and he could come and stay with us for the summer and da 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 da. That's exactly what he's trying to teach them is we know we have the skills to do this.
Right.
We know how to like sit down and catch their attention and this is how we can do this, and it's the least problematic for them as far as them having a fit or them getting upset. Sometimes there's no way around that. Other times there's ways you can avoid that by changing the situation without it being offensive to them.
Yeah, the film has that line at the end of the movie where he's talking about, maybe we are the problem. We don't know how to speak their language. And if we learn to speak their language, then we can figure out ways to uh, get them to assimilate their genius into our culture instead of us trying to force our world onto them. And every now and again, maybe we can find someone who's just, a super genius in magic and whatever. And obviously they're alluding to Affleck's character in this, but at the same time, Eric, like you were saying earlier, like so many characters that are mentioned in the movie are those people, which are, they did a great job writing the screenplay to come up with like, yeah, what was Lewis Carroll and some of these different mathematicians and stuff like, what did they do? What did they contribute to the sciences and art and beyond? And I think it was exactly what Loki said. Yeah, very cool. So, big takeaway, Ironcaster.
It was a surprisingly entertaining film that, while if I hadn't been kind of pushed to check it out on my own, this is something I might have skipped over, and I gotta say, thank you for kind of putting this on my radar to have seen. It's well worth the time, and yeah, I'm happy to have caught this one.
Yeah, thanks, Cole. Very good. I'm interested for Loki to kind of watch it again because I think he's going to have a chance to pick up all the breadcrumbs and all the mountain of setups and callbacks this film has. It's just layered with that almost like Easter egg stuff, but it's not ever relevant to the overarching story or anything like that. I think you both will enjoy that a lot, but I think Loki in particular will catch more of these nerd references and stuff. Yeah, like,
I'm ready for another shark movie, Pops. Yeah.
No, we're not even doing a bunch of shark movies this year. You guys get a pass on the shark movies this year. I mean, probably do something.
Sharkula is waiting.
No, we are not. You guys are getting Adam Sandler summer. We're not doing this, so we're not doing sharks. I mean,
some of those early Adam Sandler movies are funny.
Yeah, we're going to do some of those. We'll do some fun ones. We got to figure out how to rein him in so he's not doing one of these really, really bad ones. So wait. Let's get Loki's take on this first, and then we can go down the shark fiasco because I know it's what's going to lead. It's what's going to happen. So, any final thoughts, Loki?
A good movie. I wish I would have heard about it before. The other day. I wish I would have watched it before today. But good movie. I enjoyed what I saw. I love the scene where he's like writing everything on the walls in that boardroom. I absolutely love that. I was like, oh, he's gonna go on the mirror. He's gonna go on the glass. He's just go right on the wall, son. You go for it. And he spelled it out. He was like, look, 3, this, da 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 da. And he's like adding stuff up. And he's like, it's always the common, there's always something that ties it. And he thinks he's got it figured out. He thinks he's got it all figured out. And like you said earlier, he's got this thing where he's like, I haven't figured it out. And you think he has, but he hasn't. He knows he hasn't. So I'm going to watch it again. Eris was like, I wish I could watch it with you. And I was like, well, I got to watch it now. I can't wait.
Well, you got a chance.
Even then, there were roadblocks and things preventing me from getting to the end. But we're here and we're doing this now. I want to watch it again. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think of that watching that scene with him doing all the accounting. I'm like, that's Mike going over the Disney books.
Yeah, that is Mike Knoll going over all the Disney books.
Yeah, what I would do to get in the room to get my hands on some of the numbers. That and the stuff that involves box office and budgets and stuff. That's what I really want to audit, like what they throw into some of these things. And I heard just someone else just the other day making a moronic comment about Sinners who made like $60 million for their budget's 90, and they just couldn't understand the math of how it's actually significantly more than 90 for them to make a profit, because it doesn't usually factor in advertising and marketing at this stage. It's usually just a generic production budget, not the actual overall cost. And
The theater take.
oh yeah, it just doesn't. It's just a mess, all muddled. So, but no, for me, this is I rate it high. I'm fine if people don't. They're not with me on this one. I'm totally okay. This is one of those where I have my bias. I was in on this early, and I don't think I've ever offered this up as a recommendation, or have ever had anybody come back and be massively disappointed. I don't expect you to like it as well as I do, but I go 4 on this one, and I have a massive rewatchability. I love having it on. It doesn't require a massive amount of my brain energy, and I can just enjoy tons of the nuances and little things. And I will admit, it's made me want to see the new movie on this weekend. I don't know that I'll get to it this weekend. I'm going to have to go next weekend, but I actually want to go to the theater, which is an unheard of proposition in today's day and age. I think it's probably been a minute, guys, since you guys have heard me talk about, hey, I can't wait to get to the theater. And I mean, Godzilla -1, maybe? Like, it's been like, I can't wait to go sort of feeling. I mean, Fathom event stuff notwithstanding. Because obviously when you get, Goonies and Trek back in a theater, that's a different kind of thing. But as far as a new release type film, so that's where I stand on this. So
I'll go ahead and give it a 3.5 stars. I think it's a perfectly enjoyable film. You'll enjoy it. The action is so. I was more into it for the accounting stuff. Oddly enough.
Yeah, I don't think it ever tried to be, a John Wick movie or try to shock you. It just made it. It's like you just like, wait, this dude can do all this stuff. It's like, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think 3.5 is totally fair. And I think a 3 is fine for some people. I think some people are like, I don't really enjoy it that much, but it's okay. I get it. Totally do. So, all right, that one notwithstanding, we've already teased it. So we have plenty of time left for the rest of the show to talk about. Yeah. So next week we have Blues Brothers. So that's kind of our plant our flag. Get SQUEEKA will be back. Get the account on what's going on. We'll be on a mission from God next week.
Jake and Elwood.
That's right. Yes,
4
indeed.
chickens and a Coke.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
It's definitely one of the most rewatchable ones for me. Like, I can just always turn on Blues Brothers. I mean, we're having the cassette tape. I know, cassette tape, Pops. That's so ridiculously old. And just burning it up from start to finish with all that blues music, man. I loved it. Oh my gosh. It was just, so good and so much fun. So that'll be next week. And then we'll head into anime. Everybody left me. Look at this. Everybody left. What's going on over here? I'm trying to hold all the show down by myself. That's not even fair. Over here, blew 106 miles, Chicago. Got a full tank of gas, half pack of cigarettes. It's dark. We're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. So, there he is. He's got his record. Pulled it out there. Little Blues Brothers love right there. That's a fun soundtrack, man.
My favorite soundtracks.
Soundtrack. Aretha, Cab Calloway. Got some really fun stuff on that.
So, of course, it's got to be...
Hold on one second, IRONCASTER.
Blue.
Of course it does.
It's got to be blue. So.
Very nice. IRONCASTER's got... Is it still shrink wrap sealed, or is it you left it on to protect it?
No, this is the way I got this one. Is mine blue? I don't think so. No,
I have sleeves.
No, I don't have...
Gotta have sleeves.
Oh, this is the way mine came. But
that's some good stuff.
It's an album so nice we got it twice.
You can get some cheap protective sleeves, some cheap plastic sleeves. These aren't.
I don't even know what to get him for Christmas. We'd get
it's
him
like
some
$5 for 100 of them. So
yeah, you get more than you know what to do with. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. Blues Brothers next week. Anime, which is fun. I've already started watching Vampire Hunter D: Bloodlust. Obviously, I've watched Ghost in the Shell last year several times. Watched Spirited Away several times. So the only one I have not ever seen and I've not even started is the Ninja Scroll Project, which I will not do until right before because I will have to take Loki's advice to have access to that one. It's a bit of a more challenging one to watch for sure. So. And then that will take us to, I don't have the document pulled up, pretty sure early June, Ironcaster, early June will be our 3-year anniversary and the 1-year anniversary for SQUEEKA. Loki, you weren't here last week. We figured that out. She had joined. We didn't. I don't think we made it official until after the Karate Kid stream, but that was like June 8th of last year. So technically, when we have that June
Oh,
show, it'll be our 3-year anniversary for us with Talk Hard and our 1-year anniversary with SQUEEKA. So kind of nice, special, fun time. We can kind of talk about some different elements. I definitely want us to touch on some of our inspirations behind the show and why we do streaming stuff. Like we talk about Pump Up the Volume and Good Morning Vietnam. People have asked me several times. I know I've said it before. Like, why do I say greetings and salutations? What movie is that from? Like, people are like, they don't know. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess we'll talk about these kinds of things. So, yeah.
I mean,
Pops, we've got. I can get you a copy of Ninja Scroll on Blu-ray for $10 right now.
I know I'm so cheap to buy it because I don't know if I'll ever even watch it again. I just don't. I don't spend money on things unless I know I'm going to watch it again like that. Like I don't.
If I order one, and I might just because if
it
I'm
just
gonna
shows
spend
up.
the same. If it just shows up over there, then don't worry about it.
I understand. It'll be in the PO box. Yeah. So, I can show you what I got. You guys are showing off your wonderful Blues Brothers stuff. So, I have my. First, if I can turn the camera on, right? So, the kids come, and the kids are going to be here on and off during the summer. So I have an Amazon list full of stuff. So I added this, and it went on sale. And ironically, we were going to talk about it. So I have the DVD box set of all the Voltrons.
Nice. It's a good set.
Left it sealed for the little man. Little man will be here, and we can bust open some Voltron. He's been down the rabbit hole with me with Battle of the Planets and Robotech. So he was here last time. He loves the real life Yamato. So it was easy to get him into Star Blazers as well. So yeah, we've been doing that. And sure enough, Voltron went on super sale for like, I don't know, $18 or something. It was like nuts. So like, oh yeah, there we go. Let's plug that into the list. Make sure we have a physical copy of that.
When you watch that, you're gonna get that, in days long ago, when far-flung reaches of the universe, they lived the legend of Voltron. Voltron was a defender of peaceful planets and blah 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 blah. Right? Watch the Japanese one. It's like the Japanese version is like Voltron was a straight up slain god killer who would like travel the universe, killing different gods in the universe, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen the Japanese version of Battle of the Planets. I've never seen the actual Japanese G-Force and Gotcha Man other than like the YouTube type stuff. I've never actually sat and watched any of them at any like time. So I'm interested to actually try to catch down copies of that at one point too. To watch, more than like 2 episodes or something. Oh, you have it? Yeah, actually, of course you have it. Yeah.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Good book,
gotcha.
by the way.
Oh, I have I've had comics and books and things like that, but the actual watch the videos I have not watched, but a couple of rando pieces of things. So, Talk Hard in June. We actually do Kai June around here, folks. So if you're not familiar with that experience, that's going to be a fun one this year. We have 3 weeks of Kai June. King Kong, the 2005. Was it good? What went wrong? The Peter Jackson version. We'll talk about that one a little bit. The Iron Giant, because I want to, hear about how much SQUEEKA cries, because there will be a ton of tears flowing for the Iron Giant, because dear Lord,
Superman,
it's a freaking great movie. And then we're going to talk about Clash of the Titans. And no, we are not talking about the new Ironcaster. You can I left that comment there for you. You can leave it there all you want. Loki and I are not watching the new Clash of the Titans. We're not even acknowledging that it exists.
Already seen it. It's not that bad.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
You've got Voldemort as Hades. That was good. You've got Liam Neeson as Zeus, and that's good. There are some bad things, and there are some very bad things about it, but then there are some good things that I really like. The way the woman who plays the mother of what's her name, Princess, whatever her name is, when she's like, "Look at my daughter. She is so beautiful, more beautiful than the gods," and you're like, "Oh, bitch, do you realize what you just did?"
Yeah.
And you realize this is the chick that played what's her name in Rome, and I loved her as an actress. What happens to her? What Hades does to her? He like kisses her and turns her to ash. Some of that is really, really good. and some of it is absolutely horrible and terrible, and you're like, why did you do this way? But some of it's good. I love the fight with the Medusa. I thought the fight with the Medusa was badass.
Oh yeah.
But then again, the fight with the Kraken.
Yeah, it was terrible. I don't know. I don't know that I can just subject myself to more Sam Worthington bad. So I'm just going to say I'm going to be talking about that one. I'm sure we can talk more about the 2010 version if you guys get into it, but I'm not interested in watching that again. I'm not watching it again for that show. I know enough about it. I've seen it. I actually probably may even still have it on DVD. It seems like it's one of those I got it in a dollar bin, like, in 2015 or something, and just it's in there, and I've watched it once and never watched it again. So yeah. Then we head into July. Now July is a little tricky because the first week of July is actually on my birthday. So it's pretty rare. I don't think we've had that happen before. So July 1st is my birthday, and so we'll just do something different around here. I don't know what we're even going to do. I don't even know what we'll do. So we might even open up to you guys out there and chat. Hey, Snorty, you want to come up in here, Snorty? You want to hang out? Penny, you're here with us every week anyway. I don't know. Maybe you should. Maybe I should.
Guys, hear me out. I think it's time for a new Padawan Beat challenge.
Ooh, we could do that. I have enough time. I could send you guys some gum.
I have to ask DJ Ronnie G to bring his robot along with him.
There you go. You heard him out, DJ Ronnie G. I know you're out there. You know. And then we'll get into Sandler summer. We'll get into 3 weeks of Sandler, Happy Gilmore. We have to pick between Billy Madison or Waterboy. And then we set a bad Sandler film, and I said, quote, Loki needs to pick. Pixels would be my pick because Pixels is so bad, but I also love Pixels.
Well,
because Waterboy and Billy Madison are two of his best movies.
I know.
Let me make the case here.
Okay.
Adam Sandler is an actor who's had this career that had this great starting out point, reached this high, and then it fell into a really low slum, and it started to come back up. So I think you need to get that full swing of the arc of him. You get the really good, you get the bad, and we get something a little more modern.
But the more modern stuff is like heavy and more dramatic and a very sharp contrast. Because those are really good. Like Uncut Gem is a really
if you want a modern film that's perfectly family friendly, Leo.
I've never seen Leo.
I don't even know what Leo is.
I don't even know what Leo is. What is Leo? Hold on.
Leo was an animated film he had done for Netflix because Adam Sandler has this Netflix deal in which he's voicing this, I believe, turtle who wants to kind of get off, who wants to die because he wants to escape to the wild because he thinks his time is near.
But okay? I mean, I'm not opposed to watching Leo, but this seems like you're cheating on me because I felt like we were doing Sandler Son to highlight Sandler like Sandman, not how good Leo.
I would say
I know Leo's part good.
Either that, or we go with the Vacation movie where he did, which was just an excuse to do a movie with his friends.
Oh, you mean the grown-up movies?
Yes, grown-ups.
People hate the grown-up movies. Yeah. I don't hate the grown-up movies. I don't like the grown-up movies. They're just movies. They're just Sandler hanging out with his friends, and they come up with these stupid story arcs so he can play basketball in them and stuff like that. Like it's fine.
And he gets to hang out with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dun, 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 dun. So that's the only thing that was good about the grown-up movies was the fact that holy shit, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he used to be like the guy who picked on him back in the day.
Yeah. All right, so I'm not trying to bash the Leo thing. We should probably watch Leo for real at some point because I heard it's a great movie. I heard really solid things about it. I've never actually watched it. We wanted to watch it and just never did because we wanted to watch it with the kids. So I would actually put Leo maybe into next year's camp or whatever if it fits for an anniversary or something like that. So, all right, so let's think of this through. So we're talking about doing Happy Gilmore for sure.
Yes.
So we have 4 weeks to pick from. So we have 4 weeks. So Happy Gilmore's one for sure. Then you have Billy Madison, Waterboy, were my other really good one from that sort of era. And then you have Bad Sandler, which I said Pixels, but we could do something different. And then you could do something at the end, which could be a good one again. But I think something Sandman, like I need to see him. I don't want to do like a Hotel Transylvania or like Leo. I would want to see him be him. And I'm also not doing Ridiculous 6. Isn't that what it's called? The Western one? I'm not subjecting. I'm not sure SQUEEKA will forgive us if we do that one.
It's not that good anyway.
I'm not watching it. I've
Well,
heard. I mean, does it even have a star rating on the movie? Like it looks seems
if you
so
stop
bad.
and think about it, though, considering we've already done 2 takes on this exact same premise, we now need to do a bad version of of the Seven Samurai.
I'm leaving that week open, and you can try to sell her on convince us that that's what we should do for our bad movie. And if she approves it, we'll do it. But I'm not down for that
We
at
get
all. I think that's a
we get
horrible idea.
David Spade playing General Custard.
I think Pixels is so much fun because it's just a dumb movie. Like it's just a stupid premise, but I have so much fun watching that movie. I don't care. It's probably his worst that I enjoy rewatching. Even though Grown Ups and stuff, Mrs. Pops will put them on sometimes because they're just stupid family, whatever. I laugh out loud. I have to admit it. Like the peeing in the pool scene always makes me laugh because it turns all to dye, whatever. It's just dumb, but I'm not sure I can get there with Ridiculous Six. So yeah. All right. And then once we get into August, we have to get back on track. We got to get more. We got to put Bullet back on the list. We got to get our Sean Connery, Goldfinger on the list. We got to make sure we're doing our part with we need a nickname for it for our film school SQUEEKA programs, like SQUEEKA U. You know, we need a nickname for us doing our part to bring her along as the uber film nerd that she's becoming. She's got some really good taste for some of the good ones too. So go ahead.
Something Schoolmouse?
Schoolmouse
Rock.
Schoolmouse Rock. Film school. So, all right. Yeah, we'll see. It's getting there. We're getting there. So, all right. What's going on? So, Loki, what's going on the rest of the week? You got your week in review, snowed up late night, stuff like that going on?
Yep. And we should, this is not a promise, but we should either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. I'm juggling a lot here, folks. I'm going to try and get a stream up, a gaming stream, which we have not done, and I don't know how long. And the reason is they shadow dropped Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I have played the tutorial level. I like it. I enjoy it. Yeah, there's a body type 1 and 2. I don't really give a shit. I'm going to play it anyway because I absolutely love that game. When I was sitting there listening to the opening, I was excited. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Sorry, Pops. I dropped an F-bomb on your show. I'm excited. So there should be a gaming stream coming soon to a Loki channel near you.
Very good. That's good, folks. Make sure you're plugged in. Get the alerts. Get your alerts. So, IRONCASTER, my friend, what is going on? What's the plan?
Let's see. Here I'll be hanging out with T-shirt during our little Tuesday with Geek. But yeah, I decided to drop a little review last night. I'm trying to start doing a little bit more video review stuff. I actually press the record button, put some thoughts out there. As we are currently in the midst of a new Gundam series, and so I've got to get my thoughts out there.
Yeah.
Don't forget to bring up Super Robot Wars Y and the fact that we're going to have freaking Godzilla in a Super Robot Wars game. I am pumped. August. Yeah, mech game. Godzilla.
Yeah, I actually put a whole bunch of Godzillas on like the watch list when Little Man comes back too, so we can get through some more Godzillas together because it's going to be so much fun experiencing that together.
Well, Loki, that's not the only like mech game we have right now because for mobile we got the new. Unfortunately, won't show up too well. The new G Gundam game on mobile.
Nope.
Sorry, it's totally messed up my display. Anyway, just hey, I guess I haven't felt any urge to go and spend money on it, but I'm enjoying it so far.
I don't do the mobile thing. If I'm like today at the doctor's office, what was I playing? I was playing where is it? Knights of the Old Republic. So I mean, I have a couple games on my phone, but I don't do anything that's like you have to buy in. I want to pay for my game and I want to play my game. I don't want to pay for it again and again or have them give me ads or any BS like that. I don't care how good it is on the back end. If I've got to pay more than once, I'm not going to do it.
Let me read it. T-shirt is 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, I believe. So make sure you're tuned in there, DJ Ronnie G. Make sure you're hooked up. Make sure you're subbed over there so you can get your alerts T-shirts channel as well. So that's good. That's good. No, I've been back in on a couple of TV shows. So I went through, got all of Daredevil done. That's behind us now. Got my first Black Mirror Monday episode up. So yeah, I covered my first episode of the new Black Mirror. And the next one coming out soon, next Monday. And then, of course, tomorrow will be my first Last of Us review comment. From a gaming expert like me, you get my take on some, So, yeah. So, I know what the gamers think. I know what actually happens. I understand the overarching thing. I'll give you my take on this episode and the shows. The first 2 episodes, I guess, because I was kind of late to the game. Because I was just so, just so excited. No, not happening at all. Throwback videos, tons of that kind of stuff, and great stuff heading to the rest of the week. First time watching videos this week is Parasite. I had never seen Parasite, so won an Oscar. All this hoopla about Parasite, so we have our first watch breakdown on that, what our thoughts are, and then the Friday Pops cast is actually on The Departed. This is the one film that got Scorsese an Oscar. Overrated, underrated, what do we think? What do we think of the other characters in the movie, their portrayals? So that's this week's Friday Popcast. So yeah, full slate as always, doing my part. Trying to give you guys a break from the real world conundrums and problems that are out there. So, but man, oh man, yeah, it's a fun time. It's a good time. I had a good time watching Accountant. Good feedback from you guys, knowing that you had a good time. And of course, how could you not be looking forward to Blues Brothers? Oh, so good, so fun. So good. Hey, Loki, were you at Universal? Did you ever catch the Blues Brothers doing their thing? Little
Oh yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
And no, it's great when you see something like that. Something like that's going on, and they're out there singing. You're like, what do I hear? I hear Jake and Elwood. Where the heck are you? What's going on? And you're like, holy crap! It's the Blues Brothers. And
car looks good.
Yeah.
They get good impersonators. They have some really good impersonators in the Orlando park. I don't know about the other areas, but the Maryland looks good. They get some good impersonators in the park. At least it used to have a lot of impersonators. I don't think it's nearly as widespread as was back in the day. But the Blues Brothers still do their thing. The Beetlejuice, I don't care for the show, but the dude does all right. Voice isn't always right, but it's what it is. So, well, folks. It's a good one, man. Makes my week. I enjoy my Tuesday. I think Ironcaster said it best. We talked about this is the most important day. Monday is Monday, but Tuesday is the day. Tuesday is where it all starts. We got to do our thing. So
Tuesday is the day that's going to set the week for you, because with Monday, you're still kind of riding off that weekend high. And by the time Tuesday sets in, all that weekend kind of buzz is gone, and you still have the rest of the week ahead of you. So I think Tuesday is the important one to really get knocked down and secured for yourself, because you got 3 more days at least.
I know.
At least.
And sometimes we talk about something good. Sometimes we warn you off something that Ironcaster's picked. Not always true. He has picked some good stuff too. I got to give him a little credit for this last year. He'll never live down Street Fighter. And unfortunately, SQUEEKA can be the one that has to keep him honest on that, because we knew how bad it was. So anyway, that notwithstanding, I think we have a lineup that's full of pretty good movies, and I'm worried about the Sandler thing, but we'll see. But it's going to be a fun year. We have some good stuff, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun to have SQUEEKA back next week. Hopefully she's having a good, fun time down in Florida and hanging out with folks and doing her thing down here too. So, but you guys to get out there. You guys talk hard. Be blessed. Until next time, I am Pops.
Bob Ross, you'll never see me tripping. Got the vision, I don't even need assistance. Bob